have so much to do! Twilight suddenly squealed in excitement, causing Nate and Sully to jump. You two need a proper meet and greet with the girls. Spike, do you mind seeing if they can meet us by Nate and Sully's plane at noon? She hurriedly asked while taking up the pieces of Nate's Power 9 again. Spike, while still grumbling over Nate's poor taxonomy, left on his errand just as Twilight began spying her plans for the next 3 days at a pace an auctioneer would be jealous of. The pieces of gum matched pace with her words, whipping into place in a blur of gunmetal and magic. This meet with the princesses is going to be amazing. I mean, I'll have to do two sentient species meet for the first time. Oh, if you didn't have them, you'll need suits for rarity. No offense, but you can't meet the princess in those clothes. Do you have any suits with you in your plane? The magazine clicked into its place before the trigger assembled snapped together, floating into the grip. Well, no, but Sully sputtered. Hey, Applejack Rainbow could help get your plane unstuck. By the way, why is it called plane? It's far from being a two-dimensional construct. Timer spring tensioned while being crammed into its seat behind the firing pin, the side plates grasping the assembly before joining the trigger in the grip. It's short for Nate attempted to cut in. Actually, that can wait. Oh, but what can't wait is the magic surrounding the gun slightly brighter as Twilight began to fight the barrel spring to fit the slide. The aurora tightened its grip on every surface of the gun, which deep presses the trigger and caused a slight click as the slide fitted to its retracted position. Oh no, don't! Twilight released her grip on the slide, not knowing she chambered around. Both the unicorn and the gun recoiled with the muzzle flared from the gun exploding gunpowder. The former was struck by the latter as it broke from her grip. Nate had frozen in place, his hand still outstretched towards where his gun had been moments ago. Sully was clutching his chest, not in recovery from a heart attack or a bullet wound, but in holding back roars of laughter at Twilight's expense. After a few moments of silence, save for the clicking and the casting against the floor and Sully's continued wheezing, the mayor spoke. Perhaps you two like a tour of Ponyville now? Twilight sheepishly proposed while rubbing her freshly bruised forehead. Yeah, that sounds like safe at least. What do you think, Sully? Eh, why not? Sully replied after calming himself enough to speak again. It's not like we'd be going anywhere with Goose as it is. Either way, Sparkler. Nate followed Sully and Twilight up through the lobby after repopulating his holster with his para, but paused as he passed Twilight's desk. Among the cluttered stacks of textbooks and half-used parchment lay a small leather-bound book. The entire book was very similar to the journals he kept on his log tracks with Sully. Had he dropped his journal the night before? Had he even taken it with him on the trip to begin with? Not one to leave his journal behind if he could help it. Nate quickly slipped the book into his back pocket and quickened his pace to catch up with the Twilight at the door. While Ponyville is considered a small town due to its population only just being 2,000, one wouldn't think so while attempting to cross its breadth. It sprawled over 600 acres, not including Silver Lake or the fields of Sweet Apple Acres. Nate was learning this locally known fact the hard way as he trailed behind Twilight and Sully while taking in sights. Oh, and this is where Pinkie Pie lives. She's another one of the elements of harmony, and represents the element of laughter because she can... Twilight rambled on as the trio passed by Sugar Cube Corner. Nate incredulously eyed the frosting orchard building, itching to sketch it in his journal. He came close to pulling it out earlier to document Twilight's treehouse, but stated his hand now fair that Twilight might have taken offense. Now, though, with Twilight seemingly lost in her own little world, seemed as good a time as any. He levered his journal open with one hand while silently taking the pen Sully always kept with him for quick contacts with the other. He was surprised as he glanced back at the open book. Instead of his quick sketches and scratching notes from the lost city of Ubar, Nate found himself looking over a wall of text written in precise handwriting. 1729. The 12th day of the spring cycle of the 599th year of the celestial diarchy. The princesses are once again arguing over the length of the equestrian day. The discourse happens annually, upon the growing hours of the day in the spring cycle, to the point where Captain Polaris of the Lunar Guard and I have grown accustomed to their bickering, taking and conversing amongst each other as the sisters have it out of their chambers. As I write this, however, this year's argument seems a bit more heated than in year addendum. As of 2056, Princess Luna had vacated the castle proper in a rather unpleasant humor. I questioned Captain Polaris as to her sudden departure and destination, although he did not have the answers I requested. Well, what do we have here? Nate mused as he found the previous owner's name printed neatly inside the front cover, curious as to the entry's author. This, Captain Steadfast of the Solar Guard, had kept a neat log, filling page after page of notes ruled to military precision, with small, highly detailed sketches punctuating most entries. Nate began skimming page after page of the captain's logs, passing entries for general reports, thefts, training, promotions, demotions, and the otherwise daily lives of the two princesses, all dated within the 6th century of the celestial diarchy. They turned past Stedford's last report on recruiting stands within the guard, only to find the captain's steady writing just ended. Nothing remained but a dozen torn out pages. The phrase, "The three lieutenants watch over Celestius Foley," emblazoned within the back cover, and three dots placed irregularly above a jagged line. Before he could process it further, a melodious voice caught his attention. "Good morning, gentlecoats. Twilight. Oh, this is a wonderful day, isn't it?" Rarity greeted. "Ha! No thanks to lazy bones over there," Jack quipped. They looked up from his journal to find he tuned out the rest of Twilight's horror and ended up back at the nose of the goose. Applejack, Fluttershy, Rarity, and Spike were sitting on the picnic blanket not too far away, while a single cloud hovered over the aircraft, a prismatic tail draped over the side. Twilight giggled softly before turning back to the men. "So that's Ponyville. Any questions?" "Do you mind if I get something from the plane before we sit down?" Nate asked, pocketing Steadfast's journal for later study. After a quick nod from Twilight, he waded into the lake towards the plane's hatch. Since discovering he'd taken the wrong journal at the library, he'd been staying on locating his own. The time in the plane would give him the perfect amount of time to mull over and write down Steadfast's cryptic message. He popped the latch on the door, only to be blasted away by a sudden torrent of confetti, balloons, and streamers. "Surprise!" A warlog Nate looked up from the shallows to see a vibrantly pink mare standing just within the plane. She straddled a still smoldered cannon, an impossibly large grin on her face. Behind her, ribbons, bunting, and "Welcome to Ponyville, Nate and Sully" banner were strung up within the cabin. Nate could only muster a confused face. Just who was this? Did Twilight know her? And how the hell did she get into the goose? "Hi, I freaking named me a Diane Pie. Maybe you can call me Pinkie Pie. I'm premier pink party pony in Ponyville, and I throw parties for every new pony in town. But it's only a really pony, so I have to say I welcome every new thing in town, but that just sounds mean to say it's thing instead of pony, because then it sounds like you're saying you're Pinky! Can you just let Nate in? He needs to get something from the cabin," Twilight chided. Pinky smiled sheepishly before dismounting her party cannon and making enough room for Nate to climb inside before happily splashing away to shore. Nate clumsily navigated the clearness which was the goose's cabin, having left to the delicate art of cramming their supplies into the plane to Sully. "Damn it, Sully," Nate mentally cursed as he found the old man had piled all Nate's trinkets from the latest escape aid into a box simply marked "Nate's Crap," next to a mess of old aeronautical charts. antique silver box, pocket watch, diamond-studded horse brooch. The girls might like that one. He mentally listed while emptying the box. Old ring, old fancy ring, necklace, another brooch, strange egg thing, bangles. Aha! He fished the journals from the bottom of the box and began to transfer a steadfast message with his accompanying sketch onto an open page of his journal from Ubar. He snuck a peek out the goose's windshield to find Sully speaking with Twilight. So, what's with this town and tattoos? What do you mean? Everyone's got a tattoo, the same spot as yours. Now that I think about it, what is that, some sort of pony rite of passage? Uh, do you mean to keep my cutie mark? Let's go with that. Well, a cutie mark signifies a pony's special talent. Mine is magic. Applejack's pertains on her apple orchards, and Rarity pertains to her work with gems and fashion. Ponies earn them in fillyhood once they discover what they excel in, and the mark appears. So it's not a tattoo, Mr. Sullivan. Does that clear things up? A satisfied grunt was his only response. Excellent! Anything else? Uh, yeah, Nate began, handing over Steadfast's journal at having finished his business in the goose for the time being. I believe this is yours? I think I picked it up by mistake back at the library. Seems like a journal from... He was cut off as Twilight hurriedly snatched the journal away from him with her magic, letting loose a small whinny in a panic before disappearing in a bright flash. Nate blinked a couple of times, trying to get after the afterimage of the flash from his vision. He found Sully doing the same. Finally, none of the fine mirrors seemed to take much notice of Twilight's sudden absence. Another flash and crack of reality reforming itself, Twilight appeared by Nate's side, causing the man to jump a little. Oh, Abra, goddamn cadabra, Sully amused. Okay. Well, Twilight huffed, slightly winded from her quick trip. Let's get back to business. Nate, Sully, these are my friends. Tell them what you already meant. Applejack, Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, the one on the Rain Cloud's Rainbow Dash, my assistant Spike, who I really need to talk to right now. Come have a seat, gentle colts. Rarity beckoned for the two to sit by her, but Sully sat by Applejack instead, leaving Nate by his lonesome. He was slightly intimidated by the alabaster unicorn. He had no idea if she understood the intent of his actions the night before, or how she would react. Magic or not, that horn looked like it would do some serious damage. Rarity leaned into Nate and began to whisper. Mr. Sullivan didn't tell me much last night after your little panic attack, but I do understand what happened. I abhor those dreadful things as well. The colors are always clashing, and that makeup, ah! She dramatically placed a forehoof on her head before continuing. I only wore that garish outfit because of an agreement. Nay eased up slightly on the revelation. Sure he never wanted too severe a colorophobia to be uncovered? But if that meant he didn't have to own up to irrational fear himself, it was alright in his book. So, Nathan, what is it that you and Mrs. Sullivan do exactly? She continued, loud enough for the rest of the group to hear. Sully didn't tell you? Figured you've been the one to tell him, kid, Sully remarked, traces of another apple pie clinging to his mustache. Okay. Well, we're fortune hunters. We travel. He was interrupted by a blue face suddenly invading his vision. You explore the world? Rainbow excitedly asked, her magenta eyes shimmering. Yeah? Do you hunt for ancient treasures? The bills don't pay themselves. Do you raid dungeons, dodge death traps, and fight ancient villains? I guess you could say that. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh! You're just like Daring Do! She screeched, earning a few chuckles from the group. Her enthusiasm was lost on the humans. Daring who? Daring Do! Daring Dude? No, Do! Who? Nan scrunched his face in confusion, looking to Sully for an answer. Daring Do, kid. Even I heard that. Who was on first? Sully chuckled at his own little joke while preparing a cigar. Who now? Jack chimed in. You got it. No, I'm just asking ya. Who's on first? Who is on first? Why are you asking Applejack for? Rainbow Kun. Who's the guy's name on first? No, what's on second base? It was Nate's turn to laugh as Sully was soon encircled by the mares, being bombarded with questions. Twilight stepped aside with Spike, seeming berating with little Drake. A few moments passed before Spike sulked away towards town, leaving Twilight on her own. He decided now was a good time to find out more about Steadfast's journal. If it had been just a journal, her reaction had been a little over the top. He sidled over to her and was about to speak when she cut him off. I'm sorry about snatching away that journal, Nate, but nobody was supposed to have it. It's a very important Christian artifact dates back to the 6th century. It's also a valuable insight as to what life in Equestria was like over 1,000 years ago. It almost never leaves Caroline, but I've been granted a chance to study it by Celeste herself. If anything happened to it... Whoa, wait. That book was over 1,000 years ago? So it's the year 16,000 now? 1603, yes. Why hasn't it arrived yet? In the year 353 of the Helical monarchy, the 1,000 years between Nightmare Moon and now, Steadfast's journal was recognized as an important historical document and had a spell cast on it to prevent deriotation. How did you find it? I was sure I put it away in its proper place after I finished studying it last night. I saw on your desk while hanging out for the tour. That was one of mine, he said while producing both of his own journals. Noticing her look of interest, he handed his journal from Shambhala for her to tap through. She eagerly flipped through page to page, drinking in Nate's notes and sketches. Third base! Came a collective, frustrated yell from Sully and the mares. Alright, I think that's enough for now. Ladies, Nay, let's get work on freeing the goose up here. The ride from Caroline was about as entertaining as watching paint dry on a blade of grass while Slit attempting to judge exactly how fast it was growing in the middle of one of the dog days of summer. Normally the trip between the two settlements could take a maximum of half an hour, but unfortunately for 12, delays due to ongoing track work between Caroline and Salaton drew out the 30-minute jaunt into 2 hours of pure boredom, and she was glad when she could finally disembark at Salaton's Fort Trodden station, one step closer to her contact and one step closer to another fat paycheck. It was beginning to be an all too far feeling for her, really. The streets of Salaton were easy enough to navigate. There only existed one main thoroughfare plus a few side streets, just important enough to be numbered. 12 could hardly leave that as such a small smell and even warranted its own stop on the Caroline Area's Transit Authority rail system. Still, it was exactly the place she and her contact needed to be. Being so small and having no major claim to fame like Appaloosa, Salaton rarely saw an influx of tourists. If anything, it was a commuter town. The shops built to care the needs of Caroline may have business bunnies looking for a quick bite to eat before sailing off to work. As a result, the locals hardly gave 12 a second glance as she trotted down the street towards one of the local cafes, searching for her contact. 12 was frustrated with her day so far. Why did those squints have to leave such little information for her? Yes, it was a given that they were meeting at a cafe. Southampton only had two eateries classified as such. Those pencil pushy desk jockeys just had no idea what it was like for a pony in the field. Her contact wasn't one to be tardy, so 12 was sure she'd at least be waiting for her. It wasn't supposed to be difficult to find her. With one 9 spry magnetic coat, but 12 was having no luck whoever as she browsed the almost empty cafe. She crowded across the street to the other cafe, allowing her move to browse. She spied her contact, staying towards the back of the restaurant. Oh, it's been so long. How are you? Please, have a seat, the other mayor gushed, while immediately beckoning 12 to sit across from her. Ugh, the acting. Why did they have to act anyway? Couldn't they just mean some back alley and actually talk straight for once? It didn't matter. It's a scene whenever 12 was making contact, the squints loved the irony of having a musician act out the part of the deaf mute. 12 gathered it, so also she couldn't readily dispute a contract. She had gotten pretty decent acting the part, as steadily flickering her ears to no place in particular and feigning the concentrated stare of a lip reader almost came naturally to her. They made the conversation any more bearable, though. Every sentence was laced with double meaning, with a story to match her contact's profession. Nine blathered on about how her new students were getting along with the class. Now they arrived in a new carriage before everything else and blah blah blah. Yuck. It all really boiled down to the same message in the end. Humans are here, kill them, call it in disposal, get paid. Why did they even bother to drag both of them out here to begin with? At last, 9 seemed to be reaching to the end of her story, and mentioned for feedback from 12. Mara rolled her eyes before scribbling her response down the back of a napkin, standing up, and departing from the train station, more than ready to complete her tract.